Well, hello everyone. Welcome again to Painless Universal Conversation with myself, Anne Welsh. Today we'll be talking about challenges of living with pain and finding your joy. How do you go through obstacles in your life, prejudices and everything that you might have gone through to finding your own success, becoming a successful entrepreneur? Well, my guest did just that. My guest is Alfie Best. A lot of you will know him as the chairman of Wyldecrest Parks. So let me tell you a little bit about Alfie and why this conversation is something you must truly watch. Alfie is a highly motivated businessman, investor, speaker and philanthropist. He believes in the school of life. He is from the Romany Gypsy, comes from humble beginning. His parents started out with nothing and so did he. But he was so determined from his own experience of life to be the best he can be and build up a successful company, becoming the chairman of Wyldecrest Parks. A little bit about more that you need to know about him is that he believes that most things in life is to surround yourself by the right people, and he likes to practice a very hands-on approach as a leader to motivate his team to always battle from the right side. Our conversation will focus on his own journey. Who is Alfie Best? Why did he start this Wyldecrest Park? And what lessons can we learn from his prejudices, being a gypsy, and so many things that's happened to him along the way to becoming so successful? What are some of the lessons we can learn from him? And also, we'll be asking Alfie the very important question: how does he balance it all? We all talk about being successful, but at the end of the day, we have other priorities and needs to meet. How does Alfie balance all of this? Meet my wonderful guest, Alfie Best, as he shares his story. Well, hello everyone, and welcome again to Painless Universal Conversation with myself, Anne Welsh. Today we'll be talking to Alfie Best. I'm here in his office, and we'll be talking about his life. Today's conversation will really focus on Alfie. He's a motivated businessman, investor, speaker, and a philanthropist. More importantly, we'll be talking about his humble beginnings, starting from scratch, his businesses, and how he's found his joy to be successful in what he loves. Alfie, thank you so much for joining me. How are you today?
Well, he couldn't be here, but I'm taking his place. No, thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
No, honestly, it's a pleasure to have you. I mean, we've been talking about getting together to have this conversation because your journey is truly unique. When people hear about where you've come from, the obstacles, prejudices you faced along the way, that's never stopped you. A lot of people feel, oh my goodness, I can't go on. I either have a chronic illness, I have had these people look down on me, so that's defined me. But you never let that define you. You turned it around. Before we get started, who are you, Alfie?
The honest answer to that is sometimes I really don't know. Actually, I get up in the morning and I'm not sure who I've got to be. Because if I'm going to a boardroom meeting with the banks, I have to be a certain person. You know, there are three types of person that we all are. And one is you show to your very close friends and family. One is that you show to the general population. And the other is you never show to anybody except yourself. And those three people are in all of us. Whether we want to accept that or not, but that's what we all are. There is that, you know, that fun, loving person that's out there. Then we've got our deep demons that are inside us that we need help with from time to time. And then we've got, you know, the times where, you know, there's only things that we can talk to ourselves about.
I love that because it's, you know, when you think about what you just said, it is true. As you were talking about that, I was looking at my life and I would actually say there's certain things that I just share with my own self. It's on my own demon and I can only deal with it my own self. But when you look at your childhood, how did this shape who you are today?
Okay, look, I wasn't a particularly, and I hate to use the word special, because I think we're all special.
Yeah,
I think every individual that is born has the opportunity to be special in one way or another. But, you know, I had we were gypsies. We lived on the side of the road. You know, I was born on the side of the road. You know, why? Well, my mum and dad loved cars and trucks. So, you know, why better? Look at the positives of it. Actually, when I think back, we thought we were really smart people. And do you know something? If I was on a desert island and I had to survive, I wouldn't want to be with anybody else except other gypsies, because we're born survivors.
Absolutely.
We're born to survive. We're born to forage and get through. You know, and I don't believe in the word racism. I don't accept it. I don't like it. And to me, the word racism was made up by a white man to tell different people they were different. For me, it's prejudiced.
Yeah.
It's abuse. No different than calling somebody fat, thin, or indifferent.
Yeah.
You know, that is just abuse. So when you take out the first word and you use the words it's abuse, it's being different, then you really understand what it's all about. And it also helps you on your own journey. So for every negative, there is a positive. I think of myself as a battery. And I've got a positive and I've got a negative. The power current requires both. So you've got to have the negatives to make the positives. That's a battery. And in life, you're going to meet your battery charger. That's what you're going to meet. You're going to meet that person who's going to be your battery charger, who's going to zoop you up, make you feel good, and send you on your journey. And they're normally the people that want you to do well, support you, drive you forward. I was blessed by a family environment that did that for me. And then you're going to have your battery drainers that drain your battery.
Yes.
You can't wait to leave them because they've sapped the living energy right the way out of your battery. And they're the people you've really got to avoid. They're not bad people.
No.
They're great people. But they just sap people's energy. They're battery drainers.
That's true.
So make sure you surround yourself by battery chargers. But here's the other thing. We all need a battery drainer.
Okay, that's interesting. I never thought about it.
Because we all need a recharge every now and then. And we need that person to pick us back up because you forget they're your battery charger. The moment somebody keeps telling us all the time that we're so good, we're so brilliant, you're prone to then make mistakes. Because you start believing your own hype.
Yes.
You start believing that I'm great. He thinks I'm great. She thinks I'm great. Everything I do has got to be good. Well, then you start making mistakes, big mistakes. So you need that battery drainer. You just need them in the positive and negative way. Not too much negative, but a little bit more positive.
You know, I have to say, I didn't think about it like that. The battery drainer and the battery supplier, the one who really energizes you, the one who makes you feel good. You go there and you're so excited to be around this person. And they have a group of people in everyone's life. We all have that.
Yeah.
And in your life, would you say being born from the Romany Gypsy, what did that gift do to you? When you look back at it, what pain from the obstacles that caused, what difficulty and challenges did that bring to you as a child?
If you ask me that question now, there was no pain.
Oh, wow.
There was no pain, only lessons. only lessons.
Okay.
Like a child putting his hand in a fire. At the time it will burn and it will blister. Then it becomes a memory.
Yes.
Then it becomes a lesson. Then it becomes a lesson you don't do again.
Yes.
That burns. Can't really remember how bad it was because the blister's gone. But the lesson remains.
Okay.
So no, I didn't have any pain. I had pain at the time.
Of living that life.
Yeah. You know, like, is it hardship? There's loads of hardship cases out there. My story isn't that great. People take, and I have different people say, there's people that have done so much better than me. I think the thing that makes my story so much more successful is I've paddled a canoe up water. I've paddled a canoe upstream. So if I put it this way, life is a complete lottery. And you get to be born in this family or that family. This family is from a wealthy background that gives you all the privilege. You get to go to the best schools.
Yeah.
You don't have to concern yourself if you're going to eat today. Never mind whether you're going to be chauffeur driven. It's a whole world. This family are born into poverty,
Yes.
hardship. But where you're born doesn't dictate where you're going. Because I've seen the people born into privilege make worse mistakes than people that are born into poverty. But it is a choice in life whether you become rich or stay poor. That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
So even the family, the ones born in the wealthy family, do they still have that choice, or what choice do they have? Because people
I think
say
their
that.
choices are even harder. Their choices are even harder.
Is that why you use that quote? You say it's one thing staying, being rich, getting there, but the harder bit is maintaining that rich. Is that wealth? Is that something you?
Let's change this very slightly.
Yes.
Understanding wealth is a masterclass that takes time, etiquette, and understanding of realisation that money is like water. The moment it passes you, that actual piece of water is not coming back. So you've got to learn how to dam the water up and water your crops so they keep growing.
Okay.
Otherwise the water's just going to surpass you and the next landowner or the next farmer's watering his crops. And you're just still going to be sitting there with your fishing rod waiting for the fish to come along.
Phenomenal way.
Understand what I'm
I
saying?
understand that, yes.
So if you take this as most sports personalities, I would say most, because, and there are a number of them that have become phenomenally successful after their career. But they're taking 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds and they're becoming wealthy beyond their dreams
Yes.
then. So they've not had the hardship or the learning to get them to there. Their talent got them there.
Yeah.
So now their talent has to become a habit, because habit creates success.
Yes.
If I make 10 cups of tea and you make 100, who's going to make the best cups of tea? You who made 100.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to get it. It's just a
It's-
natural rhythm.
Yes.
Football players, boxers, you know, muscle memory, people use the phrase, because it's natural habit. Habit creates success. You just got to make sure they're good
You're
habits.
consistent with your habits. Is that where the university of life comes to play? Because you are very adamant about this, that you didn't go to university. So, but where you learned your skills, where you learned the craft to be the best person you can be in your own self, was that university of life. What is university of life?
I'll tell you what a university of life is.
Yeah.
University of life is the real academics of business. Okay? So let me explain.
Give me an
that.
example.
Let me explain. Our education system is broken and it's never been fixed. And for the love living life of me, I cannot understand why they have not fixed it. Because it is easy to fix it. Really easy. Now, do you drive?
I do drive.
Do you drive a car?
Yes.
So, okay, let's look at our education system and let's look at driving a car or flying a helicopter or flying a plane.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Look at those. Now, to me, they are all identical. You go to school, you take the theory test of doing your exams, if you do this in business, you do that in business, you take your educational courses, you pass your exam, and there you go. Voila!
You got your degree. Yes.
Your degree is there.
Yes.
You're now an expert
on that subject, yes.
On that subject. And let's just assume that subject is driving a car.
Yes.
You go out, you take your theory, you pass your theory, then what happens?
You drive.
No, you don't. You then have to drive the car with an instructor and take a further test.
Yes.
So you're now doing the practical side. They don't let you in a car just through taking a few tests.
Oh, through
and
taking a
learning
few?
the
No,
theory.
absolutely not. No, absolutely. Yes, no.
Why? Because you're not competent to do so. But yet in the education system, they say, right, you've passed your degree, you're an expert now, son. Somebody else has been doing it for 30 years, never taken a degree, hands on the tools, done the business, but no, the person with the degree is more qualified. How does that work?
Oh, I see.
So to be, so for me, if you want to be an expert, yes, our education system, but it needs to start implementing the actual procedure of doing. So if you want to be a market or PR, a marketing or a PR expert, they should say, right, okay, well, you need to come to college for 3 days a week and you need to be working in the marketing company in these roles for 2 days a week. Because how many times have you driven your car, as an example, and it's a little bit icy on the road, but you know how to press the brake, you know how to use the gears, and you touch the brake and the car just starts sliding.
Oh, yes.
And you don't know what to do because you've never been in that scenario. Never. Whereas that's relevance theory. Practicality is knowing to take your foot off the brake and use the gears. That's business.
Oh, I see.
Did I push too hard? Did I not push hard enough? Did I not put enough effort in? Do I know how to connect the yellow cord to the right cord? It's the practicalities of it. And that's what we don't do enough of. We do plenty of theory, but we don't do much practicality.
So when you hold on this philosophy that you don't ask anyone to do something you couldn't or wouldn't do yourself.
Or have at least tried.
What do you mean by that?
Why ask somebody to do something and then start dictating orders of how you want it done if you don't even know how to do it?
Oh, can you give an example? Have something, you're a successful businessman, something, have you seen along the way why that is a very important?
Every day. If I'm having a plug socket put on the wall, I will say to the electrician, I would like the plug socket put here. The next question is there any reason why I shouldn't have it there? because the first one's an instruction.
Yes.
And he's paid to do a job. So he'll just do it.
Yeah.
He'll get on, well, I'm paid to do it.
Just get it done.
Now I need him to think about, he's the expert.
Think
But because we've got the financial clout to pay somebody to do something, we assume we're the expert.
That's true. Yeah.
No, I'm paying you.
I'm paying you. I
do
know.
what you're telling you. Well, that's where mistakes happen. You're paying him because he is the expert, so treat him like one.
I love that. That's so phenomenal, because a lot of people do this mistake all the time.
Of course.
From basic stuff, from everyday life. And I have to go into your business, when we're in your office right now, and you're so successful in your work. Coming from humble beginnings.
I'm
right?
successful at a level. I could be unsuccessful tomorrow.
That's true.
We're on a ladder. Success is a ladder. And it's really simple to achieve success. Really simple. It's just one step at a time, and don't give up.
Consistency.
Consistency. Don't look left. Don't look right, because you'll fall off. Don't concern yourself if it's too high or too low. One step at a time. Followed and proceeded and worked before with a plan. A man with a plan will beat a genius without one every time.
So how does people come to play? Because one of your motto is that you've been buying failing businesses and turning them around. But you said your key turning point was when you found the right people to run your restructured businesses. How do people have a thing to do with your success?
You've got to believe in people for them to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And I have a motto here.
Yeah.
Don't trust me. Please don't trust me. I ask nobody to trust me.
Okay.
Because I don't want to trust you.
Okay. So when you choose someone, because we talk about diversity as well, when you choose someone, your focus in building your business is always choosing the best person for that job.
It's choosing the person with the right passion for that job. Passion outweighs skill tenfold. If you love what you do, you're not going to work. The passion will outweigh anything else. If a man loves what he does, it's like a man having a girlfriend and liking her, or a man having a girlfriend that he loves. Which one's going to treat which one better?
The love.
Exactly.
Any
Love what
day.
you do and you'll treat it better. They're just simple things in life that people forget every day.
Love what you do and you get the best out of life, I guess, from individual. So, let's talk about your business. How did you get started? When did that moment come to you when you realize, I'm coming from these humble beginnings, I'm seeing people all successful. When did that moment really happen for you?
Well, when I won the lottery, that really made such a big difference to That made a big difference to my life, you know. It was like night and day, you know. I started work at a very early age. From 8-year-old, I was going to work with my mum and dad. I was using a roller with my mum, a vibrating roller to lay tarmac at 8. At 12 years old, I was knocking on doors and selling tarmac. And you use your tools that you're blessed with at the time. So, for instance, nobody's really going to take a 12-year-old boy serious at the door. So you turn it to a gimmick, and you turn it up and you go, "Hi, I'm working with my dad. We're down the road and he sent me down here to knock on your..." Really? So now you're giving yourself credit. You use the tools because people like to talk to children.
Of course. Yeah.
So because that, you can engage with them more. And I was actually a pretty good salesman. Because the one thing that I learned very early is don't look to sell anybody anything. Never look to sell them. Take away, what is it? We all want to be serviced.
Yes.
I use the word. So if you're selling something to somebody, that has the emphasis that you're forcing it onto somebody.
That's true.
If you're servicing somebody's needs, then you're supplying them a coat because it's cold.
Yes.
You're not selling them a coat because it's cold. It's such a difference.
You're supplying their needs, what they truly want. So you're not actually pleading for them to buy that product.
So they then become a buyer, and you are no longer a seller. You are an expert supplying their needs.
Wow.
That's my view.
And that's really phenomenal. And
It
so
works for me.
is that how you turn things around to get this place, Wyldecrest Parks?
Wyldecrest Parks, that we're Europe's largest residential park home operator. Here's the thing that makes this company special. It's a £1 billion company. We have £750 million worth of assets. Why can I quote these figures? Because it's fact.
That's good.
We owe the bank £80 million, but then our goodwill and our brand has a worth and a value.
Yes.
But, I use the word but, we're always skint. Always. As a company, we're always skint. And the reason for that is we're constantly reinvesting any money we make back into the business. Constantly. We don't sit on our laurels. I run the company as if the company is on its last needs, because we're an athlete and we train the company to be fitter, stronger, faster. But what makes it special is this. We still own 100% of it.
Oh.
We've never sold out to a pension fund. We've never sold out to a fund. We've never taken exterior investment in. We own 100% of it. And that's what makes it highly irregular. Most people, they'll build a business, then they'll look for external fund. Why? Because it's easy to do so. They don't want to go without food in the cupboard, which I did. They don't want. They've got to still have the holiday because they feel they've earned it, and they have. But here's the thing: do you want to be successful, or do you want to be stratospheric?
I love that.
That's all.
I have to say I love that bit because I think, in the world of social media, we all see the instant fame, instant recognition. People become some overnight successful, and they just think it's just.
Well, can I stop you there?
Yes.
Hold on a moment. I love what you just said, but I disagree.
Tell me why.
You just used the phrase, people on social media automatically, overnight, become successful.
Yes.
It's fake. You get somebody with 100,000 followers and he thinks he's important.
Yes, correct.
Why?
Because they think they have 100,000 followers.
Because they think... Do you realise how absurd that is? When you have somebody like Instagram can just go, goodbye.
That's true.
That's not success. That's fear. That's fear.
That's true. But many people don't know that. This is why I'm happy we're having this conversation, Alfie, because
That's fear.
you are bringing that out.
And I see people on Instagram that are taking photos with other people's cars, with properties that they don't own. And I did a programme with Kathy Burke. Now, I was on the programme, and after me there were some YouTubers. There was 10 of them in their 20s, rented a house, selling exposure of the house and videos they made, what they got paid back for YouTube. Now, how fantastic, great, fantastic. I personally think that this is like the Wild West out there at this moment in time.
Yes.
You know, take the cryptocurrency and the NFTs. What do I think of them? I think they're brilliant. But you know, yet, I haven't had one single person explain to me where they really think this is going. Because everyone that has explained a different venture to me. Now, I've got cryptocurrency. Why? because actually I feel it would be stupid not to be involved. And so I'm learning.
Okay.
You know, I've just bought into a cryptocurrency, which I genuinely believe is going to be a great currency, and it's called Film Coin. But the reason I like it, it has a purpose. And the purpose that it has is that it equates the film industry to be able to draw down on revenue that you invest in instantly. So the returns for the film that they get paid are there and then.
That's good.
So I was blown away by this, and I thought, hold on, this is not only a cryptocurrency that's just going to go out there as the digital currency, it's purposised. So for that, I was sold on it. Because I thought, not only does it have merit as a digital coin, it has merit for what it does.
That's true. Very rare.
It sold out in the first week of launch.
Wow.
So I was blown away with.
Wow. That's a truly unique one. Going back to Wyldecrest, this is an amazing business you set up here. I mean, you're all over United Kingdom. And you're helping so many people own their own homes. What was your passion behind setting up a business like this? Because as the chairman, you must have had some dreams of what you wanted to see from this company. What was that?
Here's the honest truth. When I first started my journey in business, it was purely financial gain. Okay. I started just to make some money. And I was driven by the succeed, not to be poor. Nothing else. And people would frown upon it, and they would call it shallow. No. And what I say is, I've been rich, I've been poor, and I've been in the middle. I choose rich every day. That's what I started work for. That's what I went to work for. That's what I get up in the morning for. Now, that changed. And this is the honest truth. That changed when I found a passion in business that I could fulfill, that all of a sudden I had an expertise on, that I knew more than most. And that was caravans, mobile homes, and affordable housing. And the government doesn't like what I do.
Yeah, because it's really helping others get affordable homes.
Well, it's not financially viable for them. I can sell a park home. So before I jump to there, so my passion, I found my passion. My wealth, at the time when I started Wyldecrest, was about £5 million. That was 20 years ago. It took me 20 years to make the £5 million. When I found my passion, the money was a secondary, and the passion was my first. So what I'm saying, to earn that £5 million was blood, blisters and tears.
Yes.
What I've earned now has still been hard work, but it's been done with so much more passion, and it's taken on a life of its own. So now my passion has become Wyldecrest. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So it's more the passion, you found what you truly love.
Yes.
And that passion is now helping others as well.
Yes.
Because you really enjoy making sure people get affordable homes, especially now there's a crisis. There's always been a crisis.
But we sell park homes for 50% less than you can buy a like-for-like bungalow. Like-for-like. Council tax is band-aid. There's no stamp duty. There's no land registration fee. Electric is on average about 28% cheaper than a like-for-like bricks and mortar bungalow. They don't lose value like people say. They do continue to go up, but they continue to stay affordable.
Yes.
The reason the government doesn't like them, there's no stamp duty, no land registration tax, council band-aid council tax, the lowest form.
The lowest of all.
So for this, we people are selling up their homes, 400,000, 300,000, 500,000, buying a park home for 100, 150, 200,000, 300,000, and putting the remainder in their pocket and living the life
they've always dreamed about.
that they should have.
And what is your vision for this company when you look at it and how successful it's become? What would be your vision? Where do you see it in the next 5 years?
We don't have a vision, we have a goal. We have a strategic goal. And the first one we still need to accomplish, which is we want to hit 100 parks in the UK. We're, I think, 4 parks away from doing that, and we should have completed that in about June. We'll be at 100 parks, which is the biggest park home operator ever to exist.
Okay.
In the UK or Europe.
Okay.
There are some bigger ones in America, and they're up to 200. We will be bigger than them, and there's no question. The goal now is the next 20 years. The next 20 years, and if we've done this in 20 years, what can we do in the next 20 years? And our goal is to become the world's biggest residential park home operator, providing affordable homes and giving people a better life. We changed our slogan the other day, and our slogan used to be, your home is our passion.
Okay.
And we thought about it, and we said, we're not doing that anymore. We're actually changing people's lives. So we changed it to live your best life, because that's exactly what we're doing for people.
You are doing that because, you know, people, band-aid tax, could afford these things.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you could do other things which you've always dreamt about. You could go on that family cruise you wanted to go to, or that holiday you wanted to go to.
Help your children out with their mortgage. You can actually get them on the property ladder.
Yes.
There is so many things that this can do.
Before I ask you my final question, I have to ask, Alfie, you came from humble beginners. You went on to become a very successful entrepreneur, right? And we'll keep that going, and I hope this many more success. Many people out there will be asking the question, how can they go from that pity, that obstacle, prejudices, those obstacles, all those pain that are in our life, to becoming someone like you? What can they do?
Firstly, nobody should look to become somebody like me. Not when they have their own aspirations to become a person like them.
Yes.
So what I would say is this. We have a lot of people selling the Instagram dream. Do it big. Your dreams are not scaring you. It's not big enough. You know, that's great. But what happens, that frightens a lot of people. Frightens anybody. And people forget to dream big. You have to think big. But that dream's there. I'm not saying have a goal to where you want to be, but it is a ladder. And it is one step at a time.
Yes.
It's one step from each of that ladder, because if you take it one step at a time, and the ladder run is rotten, you're only going to fall down one run. If you try and keep taking giant leaps, you're either going to fall off the ladder or hit a run and just come straight the way back down. My advice is this, and I say this very openly and very honestly. Start. Whatever you want to do, start. Stop talking about it and start. And nobody around you is going to be more passionate about it than you if you are passionate about it. If you're not, don't do it. Do what you love, and it will always love you.
Thank you. Before we get to the final question now. Life is wealth. Health is wealth. You know, we could have everything in this world, but one of the things we always have to do is balance life. How do you manage to balance your work life, which is excruciating busy, and your personal life to still find your joy?
I don't. I don't. I didn't say that I was perfect. I don't.
Yes.
I've not been the best husband in the world. I've not been the best father in the world. In actual fact, I'd say I've been poor on most parts. This is the real honest truth. Yeah. But I've been a good provider. I've been a good educator. And nobody, I don't think, can fault me for the hours and the time that I put in I genuinely do 18-hour days. I love what I do, and I think that has given a lot of my immediate family with me a great deal of pride, because it's given them status.
Yeah.
It's putting them on the ladder. I'm very, very privileged that my son is now operating his own business, or two businesses, in the mobile home park sector and in the watch distribution. He owns the best kettles in Hatton Garden. My daughter owns her first mobile home park and works within the business. So they're workers, the same as I am. Are they academics? Definitely not. I wanted to put them in private school, and I think this is something that everybody needs to learn. Thank God I didn't. If you're going to put your children in private school, you have to accept that life. You have to accept the people in that school. And people from the street like me don't look at academics and go, oh my God, what clever people they are, right? Because they're used to having to survive. They're used to having to get by.
Absolutely.
So when, the college graduate is talking about the ozone layer, and the other kid is starving, and his dad's going, what the hell are they going on about ozone layers? So stunned. The water's just been turned off, or the electric. It's a different scale of spectrum. It's a different scale of spectrum. Whereas now, if I put my kids in private school, I'd embrace it. Because I'd understand better that, hold on, I don't need to think like that anymore.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know, it's all relative to where we are in life. I've seen people that have gone without to put their children through through private school, to put them in the best, and yet the children never cut it. It's because they were going to school with children that could afford to be there, to live that life there, and be part of that circle. But they only got the education, they didn't get
the other parts. That's true.
And they had to go home to a different environment where inadvertently they got punished mentally for going to that school. We've all seen it.
Absolutely. And I love the way you end that, because that is something that reminds me of my, when I see these animals in Africa being killed, and the people in the village would say we have no food. But for us coming from the West, we say, well, you need to protect the animals, but they're saying we have nothing to eat. So it's almost that extreme things where you see this constantly going on in life, and it's how do you balance it? How do you accept where you are and appreciate it and grow that, Alfie?
Can I answer that?
Yes, please.
I was asked once, would I make a donation for food to go to Africa? I went, no.
Yes.
Not at all. And they said, why? I said, Jesus did the same thing and didn't solve the problem.
Yes.
And I'm not God. So how on earth am I going to solve the problem?
That's true.
I said, I will make a donation if you want to start a school. Education allows you to fish every day.
It does, yes.
Even though I just said what I just said earlier on, I'm not blind to the tram lines that education can give you.
Yes.
It welds you into society, whereas giving a man a fish allows him to feed for one day.
Absolutely.
Do we want them to feed for one day, or do we want them to be self-sufficient? Do we want them to thrive? Do you understand? Mia Motley said to me, she said, many people have got to learn how to milk the cow, not kill it. She said that. And I thought it was so profound coming from a Prime Minister. Like simple.
Yes.
Too many people try and make things complicated. They don't simplify things.
Life is simple.
It is.
It's as simple as it's just so simple.
It is only people that try and be clever because they think they've got to be cleverer than the next person in the room.
Yes. And they then complicate it unnecessarily.
That makes them the dumbest person in the room.
Absolutely. Well, Alfie Bess, I think I have thoroughly enjoyed talking to you. I've learned a
thoroughly
lot.
enjoyed it. Thank you.
Learned a lot. You are also an author. And anyone who wants to know more about you, how did they find you? Because a lot of people might be asking, who is Alfie Bess? How do they know more about you?
Look, I'm a nobody.
Oh.
Do you want to make I'm a nobody.
Mm-hmm.
Just sometimes my story seems to inspire a few people, and if I manage to change the life of one person through doing nothing but being myself, then that does make me a success. Because if we change one person at a time in the world, we're only going to get a better world.
Absolutely.
If people want to know, they can follow me on Instagram, Facebook or Twitter. I do have a book, and it's called Anyone Can Build a Property Empire. Yes. And be the battery charger for people around you, but make sure they're your battery charger too. Otherwise, they'll only be the drainer.
Well,
So be positive.
well, Alfie Bess, investor, businessman, philanthropist, thank you so much for this
Pleasure's all
conversation.
mine.
Thank
Thank
you.